You know, all the way back in the late 1990s, not many people knew what the FMS was, but not many people knew what a GPS was either. Let's talk about that for a minute, because embedded in both those three-word terms is something that I think can help the way you professionally approach movement. Functional movement systems. Operational word here, systems. Global positioning, systems. The inherent strength in a system over a program is it's a feedback loop of meaningful facts. It's continuously adjusting the outcome prediction based on what's happening now. Now, let's use another word to say what I confronted in my own practice. I had developed many exercises for people to do that looked functional, that seemed functional, that by all practical purposes worked functionally, and I called them programs, which is do this for 4 weeks. Some people would come out better, some people would come out maybe the same, some people could even come out worse. So I didn't really have a system. I had a big book of functional exercise ideas. So I tried to feed everybody the same meal because I was making it about the exercise, not the way they showed up. Now, when you show up and get a movement screen, you will have some facts about the way you move. But what happens next is, if you're dysfunctional in a movement pattern, we got the information. If we actually attempt a corrective, you've got an action, and if we see if that corrective worked, we can reflect upon it. And if it didn't work, we can reflect upon that too. And a lot of times, most people can only talk within the confines of the SAID principle, specific adaptation to imposed demand. That means adaptation. So that's a 4 to 6 week investment before you see a physical change that we can measure in some way. Whereas if somebody's dysfunctional, if somebody has a movement issue, balance, flexibility, that stuff changes quick if you get on the problem. So if we're getting good responses, you're going to have an adaptation. But if you shoot for adaptation and don't read the responses on the way, you may not wind up in the right place. So an exercise program is to a trip what a roadmap would be. But if you could have a sampling GPS, what's going to happen is every time you stop, every time you make a wrong turn, every time you decide to drive faster or slower, your destination, time of arrival, is adjusted. And I think we owe that, because these are the questions we have to answer every day. How long will my rehab take? How long before I lose weight? How long before I run faster? How long before I get stronger? Well, the program is the program, but the way you show up, the way you trend, the way you respond, and the way you go through the feedback loop helps me get that destination ETA a little bit tighter for you. So we're going to have quick responders, slow responders, and no responders. And it's very important that we're able to work through that, because you will soon find the programs aren't bad, but some people need a different program before they get to the program. So when people are found to be weak in the core, it's easy to find a lot of stuff on the internet that shows you how to strengthen your abs. But most of us in the profession know the core is a lot more than your abs. If I want to make somebody's core better, I make their posture better first, and I make them use their core in a functional way. And then if I find out on fitness tests it's still not strong enough, we can always isolate the abs. But most people focus on ab strength, not abdominal core integrity relative to posture and position. So what I want you to know is, you plug in a destination to your GPS, and it's going to take a read on how fast you're going. If you change anything or deviate from the trip, that's going to cost you time. But it's okay. You can get back on track. I make wrong turns all the time because I don't pay attention to my GPS. But it recalculates, puts me back on track. But it doesn't make any promises if I don't make any promises. And that's why I think a system is a great way to work closely with your staff, closely with your referrals, and closely with your clients and patients and athletes, meaning what you bring to this and your contribution to what that GPS is predicting is just as important as the map or the program we're issuing. And the minute we can discuss things like that and don't even answer that question without collecting information, action, and reflection. You want to be a program person or you want to be a system person? You want to read a map or you want a GPS? Be part of the solution, not part of the problem.